Amid the boundless ocean, the swordfish, a solitary assassin wielding its legendary silver blade, stands not only as a living testament to the marvels of creation, but also as a prized delicacy sought after worldwide. But how are hundreds of thousands of swordfish caught and processed each year? The conquest of these giant silver swordsmen begins with daring voyages led by seasoned fishermen whose skill and determination drive them into the open sea. Once the catch is hauled aboard, the prized fish are immediately preserved in ice-cold storage, then transported ashore and delivered to modern processing facilities, where every precise cut of the blade brings this ocean predator closer to the tables of fine dining. Today, Agriculture Insight invites you to uncover the mysterious world of this remarkable creature and explore the secrets behind humanity's conquest of the ocean's silver warriors. All will be revealed in this video. Beneath the waves, the swordfish, a creature bearing a giant silver blade on its head, has long stood as a symbol of power. In fact, that sword is an extension of the upper jawbone, flat and hard as steel, stretching up to a third of its body length. It isn't razor-sharp like a real blade, but strong enough to stun schools of fish, pierce wooden boat hulls, and even bring down sharks. Beyond its legendary weapon, the swordfish is a solitary hunter capable of reaching speeds close to 100 km/h, making it one of the ocean's most enigmatic and formidable predators. Spain, with its powerful deep-sea longline fleet, has turned the port of Vigo into Europe's swordfish capital, accounting for a quarter of the global catch. Meanwhile, the United States, with its domestic fisheries and strict regulations, has elevated swordfish into a premium delicacy rather than just a mass export. Each year, this species generates hundreds of millions of dollars, securing its place as a vital link in the global seafood industry. And the taste? Imagine a steak born of the sea, firm, pinkish red, packed with protein, lean, neither as oily as salmon nor as heavy as tuna, but balanced, refined, and richly flavorful. The journey to hunt swordfish begins in the vast ocean, where humans must combine centuries-old tradition, modern technology, and real-world experience to locate this species, a decisive yet challenging factor that determines the success or failure of the entire voyage. To achieve this, fishermen must know the habits of swordfish better than anyone else. These fish are widely distributed across tropical and temperate oceans, usually found at depths of 200 to 800 meters, and sometimes descending beyond 1,500 meters. This is a cold, dark realm where light barely penetrates. To find them, fishermen rely on experience, observing the ocean surface, the migration of bait fish, and the currents. And today they also use satellite positioning and sonar to scan for schools of fish, greatly improving accuracy. Veteran fishermen often describe swordfish as lone silver shadows. They do not swim in schools but move alone, striking their prey with speed and surprise. This solitary nature makes catching swordfish far from easy. It requires patience, luck, and sometimes even an art passed down through generations. Once the waters with swordfish have been identified, the next step is preparing the bait. As apex predators in the food chain, swordfish have a varied diet, ranging from herring, mackerel, and small tuna to squid and even certain crustaceans. Yet their ultimate weakness, the delicacy they find hardest to resist, is fresh squid. For this reason, on most fishing trips, squid remains the bait of choice to lure swordfish closer. The bait is secured onto large stainless steel hooks built to withstand tremendous force and prevent breakage when the swordfish thrashes. Every part of the rig, line, hooks, floats is carefully checked, since a mature swordfish can weigh 200 to 300 kilograms, with record specimens exceeding 600 kilograms, powerful enough to bend ordinary metal. Once the bait is set, the confrontation with the silver blades of the ocean truly begins. The most common method of catching swordfish today is longlining, widely employed by industrial fleets from Spain, Ecuador, Taiwan, the United States, and many other countries. A single longline can stretch for tens of kilometers, carrying thousands of baited hooks, set either along the surface or in mid-water, the very zone where swordfish usually hunt. The entire system of floats and weights is arranged scientifically to keep the line at a stable depth, ensuring maximum efficiency. During deployment, fishermen prepare the main line on deck, while branch lines, already fitted with hooks and bait, typically fresh squid, are clipped on one by one. As the vessel moves slowly forward, the main line is gradually released into the sea, with each branch line and baited hook trailing after it, fixed in place by marker buoys. In this way, an immense wall of bait is erected beneath the surface, ready to lure in the solitary silver shadows of the ocean. Once the longline is fully set, it is left drifting for many hours, often overnight. Whenever a swordfish strikes and gets hooked, the powerful tension travels up the line and buoy, signaling the crew. At that moment, fishermen begin hauling in the gear with hydraulic winches, and the battle to bring the fish aboard becomes intense. Swordfish are notorious for their raw power. They can thrash violently, leap clear out of the water, or even charge directly at the boat's hull. The furious blows from a silver sword can pose real danger to the crew, making it essential that restraining and landing the catch is done with skill, coordination, and long-earned experience. Besides longlining, swordfish are also caught using specialized rods, a method practiced both as sport and for commercial purposes. These rods are long, fitted with electric reel winches, and built to withstand hundreds of kilograms of force. When a swordfish takes the bait, the angler must rely on both strength and technique to control it. Sometimes the battle drags on for hours. The swordfish dives deep, thrashes violently, and leaps out of the water, while the fisherman strains to keep the line taut. In the world of sport fishing, conquering a giant swordfish is regarded as a legendary feat, a symbol of human strength against the ocean. However, this method accounts for only a small fraction of the total catch, serving mainly tourism and recreational fishing. Once the swordfish is subdued, it is brought aboard. Immediately, fishermen douse it with cold water and cover it with ice to preserve freshness. Some modern vessels are even equipped with quick freezing holds at 40 degrees Celsius right at sea, keeping the fish pristine for weeks. After long voyages, swordfish are transported back to port. These massive fish, each weighing hundreds of kilograms, are unloaded with cranes or forklifts. From there, they are sorted, some sold fresh to restaurants, others sent to freezing plants for processing. At restaurants or processing facilities, swordfish are most commonly prepared as fillets, as their body structure is highly suited for cutting and separation. After initial butchering, the long, firm body is taken to the main cutting stage. Instead of slicing thin fillets immediately, the fish is usually divided into large sections for easier handling. From these sections, skilled workers use sharp, specialized knives to separate the flesh from the skin and the backbone running along the body. Thanks to its thick, firm muscle fibers, swordfish can be filleted relatively easily. With just a few decisive cuts, large, intact slabs of meat are obtained with minimal waste. These slabs are then portioned into cuts about 2 to 3 centimeters thick, commonly known as swordfish steaks. This is the most popular market form, as it preserves the sweetness and firm texture of the fish while being convenient for grilling, pan-searing, or smoking. Another highly popular product is frozen swordfish. Selected swordfish destined for this process are flash frozen immediately after being cut into large blocks at around 40 degrees Celsius, then kept in cold storage at 20 degrees Celsius until portioning. The body sections are processed with industrial cutting systems, ensuring uniform slices that are visually appealing and meet international trade standards. Thanks to advanced freezing technology, the product not only preserves its quality, color, and flavor, but also retains its rich nutritional value, including protein and omega-3. With its long shelf life, frozen swordfish is widely distributed to supermarkets, restaurants, and high-end hotels worldwide, making it an ideal ingredient for a variety of dishes, ranging from pan-seared steaks and charcoal-grilled fillets to refined Asian and European recipes. Swordfish meat is firm and pink, with few bones, making it suitable for a wide variety of dishes, from fresh sashimi and sizzling pan-seared steaks to Mediterranean-style stews with tomatoes and olives. In the US and Europe, swordfish steak is the most popular choice, while sashimi and ceviche are favored in Japan and Latin America, evidence of the global appeal of this silver sword of the sea. From the depths of the ocean to refined dining tables, the journey of the swordfish is a testament to the harmony between the power of nature and human ingenuity. A solitary warrior of the sea and at the same time a coveted culinary treasure, the swordfish not only challenges the skill of fishermen, but also secures its legendary status in the world of seafood. Each year, the world catches and farms around 300,000 tons of lobster, generating a global revenue estimated at over $5 billion USD. Among this, the United States, especially the state of Maine, together with Canada, dominate the American lobster market, producing 120,000 to 150,000 tons annually, accounting for more than half of the world's total supply and affirming their position as global seafood powerhouses. Compared to ordinary shrimp, lobsters are not only 10 to 20 times more expensive, but also possess far superior nutritional value. Lobster meat contains about 1.5 times more protein while being exceptionally low in fat, making it ideal for a healthy diet. In addition, it is rich in zinc, selenium, and vitamin B12, rare micronutrients that boost immunity and support brain function. Lobsters captivate diners with their firm, sweet flavor, while astonishing scientists with their extraordinary traits. Many individuals can live 50 to 70 years, with some even surpassing 100 years. They wield a unique double weapon, a massive crusher claw, powerful enough to break open rock-hard shells, and a smaller, razor-sharp pincer claw as precise as a surgical blade. And now, join us as we embark on the long-awaited journey, the lobster harvest. As the first rays of summer sunlight break through, usually in June, Maine's fishermen prepare for their pursuit of the ocean's treasure, the lobster. This is the moment when these crustaceans are most active, creating the perfect conditions to set the traps and begin a journey that is as arduous as it is rewarding. For a lobster voyage to be considered successful, American fishermen uphold age-old traditions passed down through generations. First, they prepare the bait with great care, usually herring or cod, and it must be dead, the smellier the better, to lure lobsters. These pieces of bait are carefully placed inside large, sturdy traps. The boats are thoroughly inspected and maintained, equipped with powerful hauling systems, ready to brave rough seas and head into deep waters, where lobsters gather to spawn and hide among rocky reefs. Upon reaching the fishing grounds, the crew begins lowering intricately designed traps, built with one-way entrances that allow lobsters to crawl in easily but make escape nearly impossible. However, each trap also includes a special release opening to free undersized lobsters or other marine creatures, helping to protect the long-term sustainability of the fishery. Constructed from sturdy wire mesh, the traps are set at depths of 30 to 50 feet, depending on the seafloor terrain and the lobster's migratory habits. Finally, every trap is marked with a buoy floating silently on the waves, patiently awaiting the moment of harvest. After several hours of waiting or sometimes leaving the traps overnight, the crew begins the harvest, the most intense and anticipated stage of the lobster fishing journey. Rough seas, towering waves, and biting winds cannot stop the skilled hands hauling heavy traps up from the depths, using sheer muscle or powerful mechanical winches. As soon as a trap touches the deck, it is immediately opened. The writhing lobsters are poured out and sorted right on board. Each individual is carefully inspected for size, gender, and overall health. Under the strict regulations of the U.S. Fisheries and Marine Resources Conservation Law, only lobsters with a carapace length between 3.25 and 5 inches, measured from the eye socket to the end of the shell, and not carrying eggs may be retained. Any lobsters that are undersized, oversized, carrying eggs, or any non-commercial species accidentally caught must be returned to the ocean. In the United States, these regulations are rigorously enforced to protect lobster populations and prevent overfishing. For fishermen, this is not just about obeying the law. It is a responsibility to preserve the sustainability of the fishery and secure resources for future generations. Finally, immediately after harvesting, the lobsters' powerful claws are bound with rubber bands to prevent them from injuring one another, reducing their market value, or from delivering a crushing pinch that no fisherman would ever want to feel. After sorting, the lobsters are placed into special holding tanks filled with clean seawater and equipped with continuous aeration systems to keep them alive. This step is crucial to ensure the lobsters maintain peak freshness until the vessel returns to port. Time is of the essence. Crew members work almost non-stop, averaging 16 to 20 hours a day to handle and preserve the catch properly. The water in these tanks is typically kept at 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, cold enough to slow the lobster's metabolism, reduce their activity, and conserve energy, yet not so cold as to cause shock or mortality. Alongside the traditional method of trap fishing, some American fishermen take a bolder approach, diving directly into the sea to harvest lobsters destined for high-end dining tables. This method is particularly effective in shallow waters, where lobsters hide deep within rocky crevices and coral reefs, places where traps often prove ineffective. Its clear advantage lies in allowing fishermen to selectively harvest only prime specimens, minimizing the capture of undersized lobsters or those carrying eggs. Yet the drawbacks are far from minor. The work demands exceptional physical strength, professional diving skills, and unwavering courage, as divers constantly face the risks of powerful currents, sharp objects on the seafloor, and even the unexpected reactions of the lobsters themselves. Each dive becomes more than just grueling physical labor. It is a mentally taxing ordeal, where every movement must be executed with absolute precision to avoid disturbance, safeguard human life, and preserve the pristine value of one of the ocean's most luxurious delicacies. The end of each lobster fishing voyage is a moment of bustle and anticipation. From there, the lobsters are swiftly transported to processing plants and distribution centers, where their journey from the ocean to the dining table continues to unfold. Upon arrival at the facility, lobsters immediately undergo a strict health check. Technicians measure body temperature, observe claw strength and reflexes, and examine shell color to assess overall condition. They are then carefully sorted by size and quality, a crucial screening step that ensures only those meeting the standards move forward to the next stage of processing. The qualified candidates are placed into containers and swiftly transferred to large holding tanks equipped with advanced aeration and seawater recirculation systems. Here, every parameter, oxygen, salinity, and temperature is precisely maintained, replicating the lobster's natural ocean environment. Water samples are regularly tested for pH, salinity, temperature, and dissolved oxygen, guaranteeing that all values remain at optimal levels, keeping the lobsters healthy and preserving their premium flavor until the final stage of processing. After the storage and inspection stage, lobsters are sorted once again by size and weight. In the United States and Canada, fishermen make a clear distinction between two types: hard-shell lobsters, those that have shed their shells long ago, with thick shells, firm, fully packed meat, and a longer survival time, making them more valuable and destined for export or fine dining restaurants; and soft-shell lobsters, also known as new-shell, freshly malted lobsters with thinner shells and less filled meat, more fragile during transport, and therefore cheaper, mainly consumed locally. The qualified lobsters are packed alive into specialized insulated cartons. Inside, cold gel packs are added to maintain a consistently low temperature throughout transportation. Finally, these cartons of lobsters are distributed to domestic restaurants and supermarkets, or exported to international markets. But the journey of the lobster does not end there. Alongside the prime specimens kept alive for export or fine dining, those not suited to be sold whole, such as soft-shell lobsters that cannot survive long-distance transport, or individuals with broken claws or damaged shells, are directed into further processing. Here, the body, claws, and head are handled separately to produce premium frozen products. In the processing stage, lobsters are placed into a high-pressure processing (HPP) system. This technology allows the meat to be separated from the shell quickly and efficiently without the use of heat, preserving the lobster's natural flavor and nutritional value. The entire process typically takes about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the size of the lobster. After completing the HPP process, the lobster is separated into distinct parts such as the body, claws, and head. Each part then undergoes its own processing line to ensure optimal quality. The lobster body, once separated, is placed into a rapid freezing system at -40°C to achieve the required level of preservation, effectively halting microbial growth and locking in the natural flavor. Next, the frozen lobster bodies move along a conveyor belt to the automated sorting area. Here, they are categorized by size and weight to ensure uniformity across each product batch. After sorting, the lobster bodies are packed directly into specialized cartons designed to protect the product during transportation and storage. In addition, the lobster body and claws are also processed into convenient lobster meat packs, catering to consumer demand for high-quality products. First, workers begin the process of extracting lobster meat by hand or with specialized tools. They carefully remove the hard shell, skillfully separating the meat from the tail, claws, and body without breaking its natural structure. A trained worker can process about 100 to 150 lobsters per hour. Once extracted, the meat is placed into specialized plastic bags and vacuum sealed to remove air, preserving freshness and preventing bacterial growth. After packaging and vacuum sealing, the lobster meat bags are chilled at approximately 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius before being placed into the high-pressure processing HPP system. This method applies pressures of up to 1,000 megapascal to eliminate bacteria and extend shelf life, without the need for chemical preservatives. The process typically lasts 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the size and weight of each pack. After completing the HPP process, the lobster meat packs are placed into insulated boxes filled with gel ice or dry ice to maintain a stable cold temperature, ensuring product quality remains intact throughout transportation to distribution centers or storage facilities before reaching consumers. Imagine yourself wandering through lush gardens and vast farms, where sunlight glimmers on the shimmering, gold-like feathers of a bird once inseparably linked with royalty and legend. Welcome to China, the cradle of the dazzling peafowl, where millions are cared for each year. Only about 1% of people in the world know this truth. Those sparkling eyes on a peacock's feathers actually have no color at all. The mesmerizing emerald blues, golden hues, or deep purples don't come from pigments, but from an optical illusion created by microscopic structures within each feather, where light is bent, reflected, and refracted so intricately it deceives even the human eye. If you were to grind a peacock feather into powder, all that brilliance would vanish, revealing only a dull gray-brown dust, seemingly insignificant, yet holding one of nature's most astonishing secrets. Most peafowl are gentle, slow-paced, and vigilant, spending much of their day foraging, preening, and watching their surroundings. But don't think they're just ornamental. When needed, a male peacock can burst into flight to perch high in the trees, chase off predators, and even charge into battle to defend its territory, all while winning the heart of a mate with an unrivaled courtship dance. Peacocks possess a unique reproductive strategy, turning beauty into a weapon of selection. Instead of battling like stags or lions, the males captivate through a visual performance, fanning out their massive tails with hundreds of shimmering blue-green eye spots, gently vibrating them to reflect the light. Peahens closely observe the symmetry, the number of eye spots, the male's gait, tail-shaking display, and even low-frequency sounds that are inaudible to the human ear. Their lekking behavior is especially remarkable. Many males gather together, each claiming a small stage to perform, while the females choose the most impressive individual. Males are polygamous, mating and then leaving, while all nesting, incubating, and chick-rearing duties fall entirely on the peahens. This behavior is more than mere reproductive instinct. It is an evolutionary spectacle, where the victor is not necessarily the strongest, but the one who leaves the deepest impression. About 15 to 30 days after mating, the peahen quietly seeks out a secluded spot under tree canopies or among dense bushes to lay her eggs. In contrast to the peacock's dazzling display, the mother-to-be embodies a quiet, gentle grace. Each breeding season, she lays 3 to 8 eggs, ivory white or slightly yellow, in intervals of 1 to 2 days. Only after completing the clutch does she begin incubating, patiently awaiting each spark of life. In the wild, the peahen typically takes full responsibility for natural incubation. For about 28 to 30 days, she rarely leaves the nest, protecting her clutch with remarkable devotion. Using her body heat and instinctive posture adjustments, she ensures each egg receives consistent warmth, a process that demands nearly absolute patience and care. However, in modern peafowl farms, artificial incubation is often used to improve hatch rates and better control chick quality. After collection, the eggs are placed in specialized incubators, advanced equipment that precisely regulates key factors such as temperature, around 37.5 degrees Celsius, humidity, 55 to 60%, and automatically turns the eggs every 1 to 2 hours. Regular turning is essential, preventing the embryo from sticking to the shell and supporting uniform development inside. Within the thick, sturdy shell, life stirs and cracks begin to appear. Bits of shell fall away, revealing tender eyes gradually learning to take their very first breaths. The peachick struggles to break free from its stone-like cocoon, its tiny body soaked but brimming with vitality. In that fleeting moment, from the silence of the egg, a new rhythm of life emerges, marking the beginning of a long journey across the vast grasslands. From the very first cry of life, the mother peahen shelters her chicks with unwavering devotion. Though she lacks the dazzling plumage of the peacock, she carries a warm cloak of instinctive maternal love, strong enough to protect her fragile brood. As soon as their down feathers dry, the chicks totter after their mother, imitating her every move. How to peck at seeds, listen to the sounds of the forest, and react to danger. Their first meals are guided by the mother's care, from insects, ants, and spiders to tender seeds and wild berries, all vital nutrients that help their bodies grow, bones strengthen, and immunity develop. In a world full of lurking threats, the mother is their living shield. At the slightest unfamiliar sound, her wings spread wide, covering the chicks tucked beneath. Thanks to her protection, each peachick grows day by day, until its survival instincts awaken and it is ready to leave her side, stepping boldly into independence in the wild. From around their second year of life, peafowl begin to transform, revealing clear sexual differences not only in appearance, but also in demeanor. The peacock stands out with his large body and regal gait, but his greatest allure lies in his magnificent tail, adorned with hundreds of iridescent eyes that shimmer like stars. This tail is not merely a biological feature, but a visual masterpiece, a weapon crafted by nature for the courtship dance. In contrast, the peahen embodies characteristic modesty, brownish-gray feathers tinged with deep green, a smaller, more delicate body, and quiet steps. Yet this very simplicity plays a vital role in nesting, incubating, and raising the young. Upon reaching maturity, the peacock is not only beautiful, but also fiercely assertive. He patrols his territory daily, every step and every fan of his tail carrying a message of dominance. His call rings out far and haunting, high-pitched, prolonged, like a living declaration of power. When a rival appears, the peacock does not hesitate. He instantly fans his tail, raises his head high, lets out sharp, piercing cries, and charges at the intruder with wing beats, kicking feet, and an unyielding glare. A contest both dazzling and intense, where beauty and strength merge as one. But to achieve such a majestic appearance, nutrition plays a crucial role. Peafowl must be fed a proper diet to maintain glossy feathers, good health, and a lively spirit. In the wild, they live in small groups, active mainly in the early morning and late afternoon. Their diet is diverse, ranging from seeds, fallen fruits, and insects to small snakes and lizards. They prefer quiet, open areas and remain highly alert. Just a slight sound is enough to send the entire flock soaring into the air. In captivity, peafowl are raised in spacious enclosures, with plenty of trees for perching and shade. Even under farm conditions, caretakers strive to recreate a natural-like environment to prevent stress, since peafowl are sensitive animals that need space and tranquility. The better they are cared for, the more splendid the peacock's tail becomes, growing longer, more vibrant, and sharply defined, like a painting, ready for the next courtship season, when they once again transform into grassland dancers, captivating the entire forest with their mesmerizing displays. Like many other bird species, peafowl have a seasonal molting period, typically occurring from late summer to early autumn, right after the breeding season ends. During this time, the male gradually sheds its long tail feathers, the proud symbol of its beauty, in preparation for the new growth cycle the following year. This is when keepers can naturally collect the feathers without causing any harm to the bird's health or well-being. On average, an adult male peafowl sheds about 100 to 200 tail feathers annually, including both the long central feathers and the shorter outer ones. Harvesting at the right time not only ensures the best feather quality, but also helps prevent excessive feather loss during damp weather, which could lead to chills. Professional breeders usually mark each bird's molting schedule and closely monitor the process for effective and timely collection. In feng shui, peacock feathers are symbols of luck, prosperity, power, and abundance. The round, well-defined eye spots are believed to ward off negative energy and attract positive vibrations. For this reason, peacock feathers are often placed in ceramic vases and displayed in formal or sacred spaces. Today, peacock feathers and their distinctive patterns continue to strongly inspire the fashion world. Many collections, from high-end runways to everyday designs, draw inspiration from the vibrant colors and symmetrical structure of peacock feathers. Beyond clothing, peacock motifs are widely used in hair accessories, hats, scarves, and even makeup designs inspired by the mystical blue-green hues of a peacock's tail. The soft, mysterious, and captivating beauty of peacock feathers makes any design featuring them stand out with artistic flair. From feng shui to fashion and art, peacock feathers are not just natural materials, but vivid symbols of beauty, power, and faith that transcend cultures. Peafowl are no longer found only in dense forests or breeding farms. Nowadays, they also appear in many public spaces, from zoos and ecotourism areas to temple grounds, large parks, and even the sidewalks of quiet, sparsely traveled streets. In these places, they are often released to roam freely in semi-wild environments, strolling leisurely among people like feathered friends. They are unafraid of humans and cause no disturbance, only occasionally letting out a few loud calls that add a lively accent to the surroundings. Peafowl are highly sociable with humans. With their gentle, calm nature and regal appearance, they quickly win the affection of visitors and locals alike. They readily eat food offered by people, from leftover rice and grains to small vegetables, as long as it is clean and not overly salty. This makes caring for them simple and approachable. Regardless of their habitat, peafowl maintain their unique beauty, both wild and familiar. Their very presence can turn an otherwise ordinary space into something poetic and full of life. From their dazzling beauty to their unique behaviors, peafowl are not only symbols of nature, but also living proof of the harmony between humans and the wild. Whether in deep forests, farms, or urban life, they retain their regal charm and symbolic significance. They remind us that true beauty is not only meant to be admired, but also cherished and protected, so that their calls and magnificent tail displays will continue to grace our planet for generations to come. After this elegant display, they mate right on the lake's surface, keeping balance by flapping their wings, creating ripples that shimmer outward, a scene both poetic and cunning, orchestrated by nature. Black swans are famously loyal to their mates, but only on the surface. They continue living together, building nests and raising cygnets like the perfect family. Yet in reality, about 30% of the chicks in a nest are the result of extra-pair mating. After their calculated courtship and mating rituals, the female black swan begins laying eggs, typically between 4 and 8 per clutch. What's fascinating is that not all the eggs in the nest necessarily belong to the official pair. Due to the unusually high rate of male-male pairings among black swans, a phenomenon known as borrowed eggs often occurs, where male pairs temporarily mate with a female to obtain fertilized eggs, then take over the nest and raise the cygnets themselves. Both the male and female take turns incubating the eggs for about 35 to 40 days, regardless of whether the eggs are their own or borrowed from the neighbors. Occasionally, in captivity, rare hybridizations between black and white swans have been recorded. However, most of these hybrids are infertile, much like mules, the offspring of a horse and a donkey. When the eggs hatch, the true parenting journey of the black swan begins. The cygnets emerge covered in soft, light gray down, completely different from the deep black plumage of their parents. Why the contrast? It's a natural camouflage, allowing the chicks to blend into the lakeside grasses and avoid the gaze of predators. During their early months, the cygnets stick closely to their parents, swimming in long lines like a miniature train gliding across the water. They learn to preen, to forage for food, but always under the strict supervision of both the male and female. At the slightest unusual sound, the adult swans will instantly spread their wings to shield their young or launch a fierce attack on any intruder who dares come too close. Black swans don't eat the same way as chickens or ducks. They are raised on a carefully balanced diet that blends natural foraging with specially formulated feed. During the day, they are released into semi-wild ponds where they leisurely swim and graze on leafy greens like Napa cabbage, lettuce, Japanese duckweed, and aquatic grasses. Their habit of feeding near the water's surface helps control algae and keep the ponds clean, earning them the nickname ecological engineers. In addition to natural food, farmers supplement their diet with custom-made pellets rich in protein, minerals, vitamins, and carefully adjusted fat levels to promote muscle growth, subcutaneous fat accumulation, and enhance feather color. Unlike other poultry that digest quickly, black swans absorb nutrients more slowly, allowing fat and flavor to develop evenly over time. This slow process gives their meat its signature texture, lightly chewy, low in internal fat, but with a rich, buttery layer under the skin. It's this unique profile that makes black swan meat a prized delicacy. To optimize black swan farming, commercial operations use a hybrid model, combining open water and shelter housing. During the day, black swans are released onto ponds that serve as natural swimming pools to build muscle strength, and as living stages where they preen, spread their wings, and assert territorial behaviors. On average, an adult swan can swim between 5 to 8 kilometers a day, an activity that enhances muscle development, reduces visceral fat, and naturally improves meat quality. To maintain ideal conditions, the pond water is refreshed 1 to 2 times per week, combined with regular cleaning to remove waste and algae, keeping the water clear. In a standard pond of 300 to 500 square meters, 20 to 30 swans can be raised comfortably, enough space for them to behave naturally and avoid crowding. The water also helps regulate body temperature, cools them during hot days, and plays a vital role in keeping their feathers glossy and healthy. At night or during the breeding season, swans are brought into enclosures where feed intake is carefully monitored and risks like egg theft or predators are minimized. Remarkably, black swans can also coexist with chickens, ducks, and geese in integrated farming systems. This balanced approach of free-range water access and structured shelter management has transformed black swans from wild icons into economically valuable livestock. After around 6 to 8 months of rearing, when black swans reach the ideal weight of 5 to 7 kilograms, they are harvested directly at the farm. The process usually takes place early in the morning or late in the afternoon to minimize stress on the flock. A few hours beforehand, feeding is paused to help empty the digestive system, ensuring better meat quality and easier preservation. Swans are gently caught by hand or with soft nets, taking care not to damage their feathers or skin, as both have additional value beyond the meat. Once collected, the birds are moved to a separate holding area before being transported to the processing facility. The harvesting stage requires precision, experience, and a calm approach to ensure both animal welfare and the final product's economic value. And now, let's step inside the factory, the most anticipated part of this entire journey. At this stage, the entire pre-processing and packaging process is carried out in a closed system, ensuring freshness and visual appeal. Because with black swans, even at the dining table, beauty must be preserved. Upon arrival at the factory, black swans are taken directly to the processing area, where automated lines and skilled workers operate in harmony to carry out evisceration, cleaning, and organ removal. The system is specially designed for large poultry, enabling high-speed handling while maintaining aesthetic integrity, since the value of black swans lies not only in their meat quality, but also in their intact form, ideal for premium whole bird dishes. After initial processing, the swans are transferred to a rapid chilling system to quickly reduce body temperature. This step helps prevent protein degradation, keeping the meat firm, flavorful, and naturally colored. The birds are dipped into chilled water to bring down the internal temperature rapidly, then hung on racks inside high-capacity cold rooms. Even thorough chilling from the inside out is essential to maintaining freshness and ensuring optimal meat quality upon delivery. Next comes the portioning stage. Breast, thigh, wing, neck. Each cut of black swan is carefully separated according to precise ratios and standards. This isn't just about carving meat. Workers assess each piece for elasticity, color, and subcutaneous fat marbling, ensuring only premium cuts enter the packaging line. On average, each person can process 40 to 50 birds per hour while maintaining near-perfect accuracy, because with black swans, every detail must meet the highest standard. Following portioning, the meat moves to a modern packaging system. Some products are vacuum sealed to preserve peak freshness, while others are flash frozen at 18 degrees Celsius for export markets. All packages are clearly labeled with farm origin, processing date, and food safety certification standards. And thus, these once ordinary swan cuts are transformed from raw ingredients into luxury goods, gracing high-end restaurants and lavish banquet tables, where every bite reflects not only rich flavor, but the precision and care behind a world-class production process. Black swan meat doesn't explode on the palate with bold intensity. Instead, it offers a different kind of experience, lightly chewy, with a crisp and delicate skin, tender meat that finishes sweet and leaves behind a cool aftertaste, as if biting into a piece of meat infused with the mist of a lakeside morning. In upscale restaurants, whole-roasted black swan is more than a dish, it's part of a culinary ritual. The skin is blanched in boiling water to create a glossy tension, and the subcutaneous fat layer is just thin enough to retain moisture without greasiness. Roasting is timed to the minute, until the skin turns a deep amber hue, a color considered the gold standard among chefs for this premium delicacy. Beyond roasting, black swan meat is also prized for herbal stews. Unlike chicken or duck, which often break apart when simmered, black swan retains its springy texture even after long cooking. The broth remains clear but rich in flavor, infused with aromatic herbs. Rich in collagen, amino acids, and natural iron, black swan is regarded as a rare luxury at fine banquets, a dish not just consumed, but experienced. A single roasted or stewed black swan can cost many times more than conventional poultry, because what diners pay for isn't just flavor, it's exclusivity. With every crisp crack of the skin or every delicate sip of broth, one isn't just eating. They're tasting something once thought impossible. The transformation of a legendary bird into a tangible, unforgettable moment on the table.